Welcome to the second quarter game watch at Boston College. I guess I'm your host. We're kind of just hanging out here. We got Sam, Jesse, we got Adam here. What's up, fellas?
I'll tell you what, I didn't have a problem putting this game on mute. ACC Network usually does a decent job with their commentating. This is atrocious.
Yeah, it's less than optimal. What did you think of the first quarter?
I don't think I've ever seen a first quarter like that, to be honest with you. Tech has 2 interceptions by Dorian Strong, who I think
touchdown.
Whoa, you're ahead of me. Okay, how's it happening here? All right, Drones back to pass. He pumps. He looks. Fires to the middle. He's got Gosnell. Gosnell's walking in. Touchdown. Tech.
I'll pause my screen so I'm not ahead of you going forward, but that was great.
You guys must be really. I mean, I have cable. I'm not streaming it, and it still hasn't happened yet on my TV.
Well, really?
So.
Cheers to that, man. Touchdown.
We're still working on iced coffee, by the way.
It is early. It's still early.
I'll tell you, this is somewhat, as they kick the extra point and stuff, working the sports betting industry, especially with live betting, one of the biggest factors in the whole business is latency with people watching the games. And I mean, YouTube TV is about 25 to 30 seconds behind real time. Some cable channels are about 10 to 12 seconds. The best cable channels like CBS and NBC, Fox is pretty good too, are about 6 to 8 seconds. So in terms of like live betting, somebody who is watching on cable has a significant advantage over someone who's watching on YouTube TV.
That is wild. I never thought of that, but that's so true with the live betting.
It's about half a minute for YouTube TV. ESPN Plus, dude, it can, for some of these games where they don't take as much like hotspot stuff for their broadcasting, you can look it up to a minute for
really. Dang.
Yeah, for something like,
So I'm actually on YouTube TV. What are you on, Sam?
I'm on YouTube TV. But I've done some rewinding to look at plays, so I might
get live for me. And then, what are you on, Adam? You're on Fios or something?
Yeah, I'm on Comcast Xfinity, but yeah, I haven't been rewinding or anything. I don't know. It's just like delayed for some reason.
You could try if you wanted to just check. You could go to another channel and then go back and see if it gets you more live.
It's weird though.
An ad right now, so I can't do much to it.
Yeah, exactly. I got the same thing going on, Sam. I'll pause once I get back. We can line up the minutes, but either way, it's not gonna. I just don't want to be like 20 seconds ahead of you because I don't want to see a touchdown before you guys. So I'll pause it.
All right, Adam, you didn't like the uniforms, but didn't you like about the uniforms today?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess, have we seen that combo before? It's just like Bitter said. It sort of looks like Mississippi State. Yeah, I don't know. It seems sort of weird with the maroon pants, white maroon, or I don't know. Yeah, it gave me weird vibes. I wasn't feeling it, but it seems to be working. So,
yeah, I feel like we've worn a bunch of unique uni combos when we go up to Boston College. Maybe because one of their colors is like garnet or whatever. But do you remember that Josh Jackson game in 2017? We wore like super bizarre uniforms.
The throwback. Wore throwback uniforms. It was the maroon throwbacks, white, and then orange throwback. I like that. I like that combo. That was pretty cool. I looked good.
Yeah, it was night game. We got the Sean Savoy touchdown, and we ended up winning. So it's 17-7, Hokies. If you're here with us, I don't know why Boston College is throwing the football at all. I think Adam might have said that in the chat we were having. It makes no sense. It's the first play of the game, interception, just like last year's BC game. And then Dorian makes a great play on the ball later in the first quarter to get another interception. So that's been super helpful for this game. And then we got a red zone touchdown. So that was sweet too.
Yeah, I think Dorian Strong is the best corner on this team. I think he has played elite football this year. And I think Tech will have him one more year, and then I think he's going pro, and I think he'll be a pretty highly drafted pro.
Yeah, he just seems like he hasn't had a chance to be healthy, and there's a coaching change, and every year it seems like, okay, this could be his all ACC season. He's I mean, probably not going to happen this year just because of the way our season's gone, but he is very talented.
I don't know. He has 3 interceptions, right?
Okay.
So maybe.
We know Elijah Jones is probably locking down one of those spots, though.
Yeah.
He's got 5 interceptions prior to this game and a bunch of pass breakups on top of it. He's a hell of a corner.
All right, let's see if they run it on every possession here, which I would do if I was BC. I don't know.
If you guys are watching on Twitter, hop over to YouTube. It's easier for engagement. We prefer you to be on YouTube, and you can put comments and we can add them to the chat and stuff. So if you are watching on Twitter or X, hop over to the YouTube feed. Sons of Saturday YouTube channel. I'm going to tweet out the link here in 1 second.
Yeah, Pete, it's X. Come on now.
I'll never get used to that. Well, maybe I will eventually, but not right now.
I say it as like a joke, even though I guess that's its name, but it's like he calls it X, except for Billy.
Well, Billy Ray tweets. He changed his handle to Billy Ray Tweets after there were no longer tweets.
Yeah, what are you supposed to call them? I saw one thing like Zeets, like an X.
It's supposed to just be posts,
Oh,
which is lame, but
yeah, I didn't update the app for a long time, so I could still have the bird, and then it finally updated on its own, and I was really upset. Yeah, run the ball if I'm VC. Like, I don't know, it's working.
3rd down. All right. What's your
good?
What do you got on the clock there, Sam?
I'm at 11:16. I just saw. I believe that was McDonald make the play.
Okay.
I'm
doing an 8-second pause.
I'll tell you, the 757 in general, not great internet, not great cell service. Kind of no matter where you are down here, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake.
Like the infrastructure just isn't there.
No, the freaking Navy takes it all up.
Yeah.
Oh,
come on.
I mean,
I'm seeing a 3rd down run from Castellanos and then a late flag.
That's what I'm seeing too.
We'll see what the flag is.
Holding on the offense. All right.
Let's go. We'll take it. Yeah, Adam, you said this in the chat. It is kind of shocking with Brent Pry's history of coaching up linebackers that the linebacking play. I mean, it's almost been like there are some plays where it looks like we have no linebackers on the field.
Yeah, it's like they don't even get touched for 10, 15 yards.
They don't get blocked. Yeah, I mean, there was a play against Louisville and with Rutgers. There was like 5 or 6 plays. But there were plays against Louisville where you had 3 linebackers. You're in a classic 4-3 formation. You weren't shifted or anything. And then the ball snapped, and it was like you couldn't find the linebackers on the film. So they got to figure something out. Luckily for Virginia Tech, the best recruit coming up in the next class is a linebacker.
Yes, that's true. Another flag on BC. Delay a game. Tim Cox asked, what's the drink? Pete, the drink is a Hill Farmstead. This was from my trip up to Vermont at the tail end of September. I picked up a bunch of the Hill Farmstead stuff. Back in the day, and if you're not aware, Hill Farmstead was a premier brewery in the United States. In 2018, they were rated the #1 brewery in the U.S. and maybe in the world. And since then, obviously, there's been a proliferation of breweries and all kinds of stuff. They still make fantastic beer, but they were one of the first places that did Farmstead ales and these New England IPAs. Obviously, it's in Vermont, and their beer is really good. This is called the Harlan, and it's an American IPA, and it's phenomenal. And it does have that haze to it, but it's tasty. 4th and 12 for BC.
Good play by Jalen Jones there. Those like, wide open spaces when you're playing prevent, like those can be hard to come up and make a tackle, especially for a guy who's playing wide receiver 6 months ago. So we need a QB spy. Yeah, we need. I on obvious passing downs, I think they will.
Ooh.
Jalen Lane breaks a tackle. He cuts left. He's past the 50. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 20, the 10, the 5, and there's a flag on. However. Oh, it was a house call.
Beautiful.
Jalen Lane. There's a flag on the play. However, flag had to happen a bit downfield, though, because there wasn't much blocking that happened initially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's the yard line?
Oh, no.
Special teams, though, so far came to play. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough on those, right? Like we'll see the replay, but there did look to be a suspiciously few amount of Boston College players covering that punt. So somebody must have gone. Yeah, that's a bad block in the back. He would have been tackled at the 35.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I'd rather. I'd maybe rather have somebody else back there returning punts. Like I'd rather have Tucker Holloway instead of your starting slot wide receiver.
Yeah, but I agree.
Tucker's had some soft tissue injuries all year, though. So kind of coming off cold off the bench and asking him to run is maybe not the best call.
He's been battling a couple things, but either one of those guys are great to have. You obviously want to use Tucker if you could, because you don't want Lane to take extra shots if he doesn't have to. But I also want to win some games. So.
Yeah, that's true. Let me just pop over to Penn State, Michigan, and check on the.
Yeah, give us an update, Adam. What were you guys thinking about that Penn State, Michigan prior to the game?
I took the under in the game, the minus 4.5. I mean,
what was the over under?
It was like 44.5 or something like that, or 45.5.
Okay.
Just because they both play good defense. So, but it's Michigan 7-3 right now. So,
I took Michigan in my pick'em. It was 5.5 in that, but I did waffle a little bit, only because the line came out lower than I had anticipated, and I wonder if some of that was because of the Harbaugh stuff and the distraction of all that. But I do kind of feel like Michigan's going to end up winning by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
They own Penn State. Like, I grew up a Penn State fan, and it's very rare that Penn State in a big game will come out on top in those situations. And you remember, even when they won the Big Ten in 2016 or 2017, they got blown out by Michigan, like absolutely destroyed that year, and then had a very good end of the season.
Yeah, if I didn't go to Tech, I would have gone to Penn State. I got into Penn State first.
They had that rolling admissions. Yeah, I got the same thing.
But I applied to Tech, early decision, RIP. That doesn't exist anymore. But so it was obviously binding. But it was Tech number 1, Penn State number 2. So they're basically the same school, just in different states.
Yeah, except for their downtown at Penn State makes Blacksburg look like a tiny village.
Yeah, that's true.
It's crazy. It's such a big school.
Oh, there we go.
Go, baby.
Block 65. What a block. What a block by Gosnell, too. Maybe a little hold. Hold the ball.
Drones with a long gainer there.
First time that play's worked all year, because that play has gotten blown up every single time this year. They kept running it.
The fake toss.
The fake pitch run. It hasn't worked because defenses have kind of like been the defenses we've played have been honestly a little bit slow. So it's like they're not quick enough to fall for the fake. Like I know with Wake Forest, that was the issue. Really nice job by the offensive line there. I'll tell you one thing about Drones. The way he runs like a running back. And he doesn't try to juke you out. Like he leans into the contact. And if you've ever played football, even from like the youngest level, if you want to avoid injuries on tackles, you need to play behind your pads and keep going forward, because if you try to go around somebody, if you try to not take a hit, that's when you're going to get all twisted up and you're going to have a bad fall, and that's when you're going to get injured. They do pitch it out there, 2 down to the 5. That'll be a first down.
Nice. Yeah, I always thought that about RG3. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys are Commanders fans or not, but like he did not know how to take a hit, and was notorious for it, and was always hurt. Like always hurt. He never fell right. He never went into a tackle right. Drones definitely is the opposite of that.
Yeah, Drones runs a bit more like Jalen Hurts.
I was about to say the same
He
thing.
looks like Jalen Hurts. Like he's number one. He's a big, like stout dude.
Beautiful play design.
Touchdown, Hokies.
Beautiful play design. You know what's so frustrating about the red zone offense is I think Tyler Bowen has some really good red zone play designs. They run this like triple option pass that we saw early in the season that we hadn't seen the last few weeks. That wasn't that there, but they have some good stuff.
I mean, it's nice too because Lane, who loses the touchdown, gets the touchdown back there on that play. He is just so freaking good. We're so lucky to have him. And if we had Jennings this whole time with him, obviously this offense would be better. I don't know how much better, but the point on Bowen, Sam, I think he can be, he's like Scott Loeffler. And I don't know if you remember back that far, but like Loeffler could like scheme up some games and he would be like amazing. And then other games, it was like, he didn't have a clue. And Bowen is working his way through there. I have higher hopes for Bowen because he's younger and he's learning than I did with Loeffler. But Loeffler would figure out a few things that worked. I'm hoping as we go forward here, we'll see Bowen be like last game. I don't know if anything was going to work, but like the Marshall game, he didn't have a clue what to do in that game. And
while we're speaking about former Tech coaches, Indiana is up 14-12 on Illinois. Indiana is playing much better football the last few weeks.
They are.
Justin Fuente is acting as a analyst, I guess is the term for it.
I forgot about that.
I'll tell you what. Literally since they hired him, they've started playing better football. I think he's going to get a job this offseason.
Offensively, absolutely. They were playing good defense throughout the year, and now they are starting. Like their offense was dreadful, and now it's obviously been much better. They should have beat Penn State. Did you watch any of that game? Because Tom Allen got a little skittish at the end and should have gone for a touchdown, but they should have beat Penn State. They've been playing a lot better lately.
Yeah, I think there will be a few openings that he has potential to grab.
Yeah, I mean his issue was never the offense, right? That was like his bread and butter. It was just everything else that he didn't really.
Or maybe he gets an offensive coordinator job. I think
that would probably be the step first.
Yeah.
But he might not want to be a head coach quite yet, nor does he need the paycheck. So maybe he wants to get back to his roots a bit. Do you guys know? I was thinking about this the other day. Do you guys know if he gets a job, if it's written into the buyout that like it offsets?
I believe it is. At least that's how it is for most head coaches.
It usually is. Yeah.
So I would assume so. Yes.
Early score here. Texas Tech up 10-0 on Kansas.
Yeah. I have the scores up right now. I have Alabama to cover -6.5 in the second half. They're up 21-7 already on Kentucky.
Why was that line so close? Like, why was that a 10.5 line? When I was thinking that was going to be a 17, 18, even 19-point line, and it came out at 11, and then it dropped to 10.5.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
They said on game day, I mean, it didn't really shift this morning, but on game day, they said like one of Bama's best receivers is out or something like that. So I don't know if that had an impact.
Well,
and Kentucky could still cover. I mean, we don't know. But
more former Hokies, Tavion Robinson scored the touchdown for Kentucky. So Tavion Robinson is still playing college football.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's crazy to me. He's still playing.
You know what's crazy to me?
2019.
Yeah, well,
2020.
in 2019, he caught that touchdown pass against Pitt when we shut them out. I remember that. So he's definitely on that team. And I think he was a true freshman then, right?
He's the same year as Trey Turner.
Oh my God, that's funny. What's crazy is this score 24-7 Hokies. There's still 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
All right. I predicted 27-13. I would be disappointed if the Hokies only score 3 points. Dropped by Boston College there.
Yeah, we'll see. We saw what happened in what was the game a few weeks, the Syracuse game. We scored 30 in the first half and then only 8 in the second because they obviously just ran the clock out. So we'll see if the same thing happens here.
It's a good point, Adam. The good thing about this game in particular is that BC is a running team. So them trying to come back down 17 or who knows, that bodes well for us. We really want to keep them off the board on this drive.
Yeah, it's like they should have stuck to the run, but now they basically they have to throw it. So and the QB can't really throw the ball, so it bodes well right now.
Yeah. This feels good though, man. I was actually predicting. I mean, anything can happen. Feels good at this moment. I was thinking this was going to go like the Liberty game last year, like just a hard fought game, come down to like a turnover here, a stop here. Hopefully, we don't have to sweat this thing out. We'll see.
That's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, especially with this. How terrible our run defense is. They're probably going to break off a few more big ones, but just gotta keep them under control.
Is that Jenkins? Who was that?
38.
Oh, it's Tisdale, right?
Yeah.
No, that's 34. Who's 38?
Tisdale's McDonald, right? Am I crazy?
38's McDonald?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Jones is also hurt. So the 2 Virginia Tech defenders down on that play. I think they're going to have to measure this one. It's going to be really close. But the Virginia Tech safeties stay on the field challenge. It has been one issue or another all season for those guys.
So annoying, man.
Nasir Peoples injuries. There's been targetings. Mose Phillips, did we see him last week?
I can't recall off the top of my head.
I don't believe we saw him last week.
I don't think so.
He had the targeting.
38 is Jaden McDonald.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That unit, they best ability is availability. Injuries happen, but man.
It sucks because if Nazir and Stroman are healthy this entire year, we might have another win. Like they make, I think the 2 of them make such a difference for this to supplement this poor linebacking core.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Especially Stroman. I mean, he's so locked down in pass coverage and run.
Yeah, he's so good
and everything. Yeah, and Jalen Jones has been playing well this game too, so that would be a big loss. My guess is Mose Phillips is available. He hasn't been on any injury report or anything like that.
Well, and then you have the option. I think Adam said this to put Delane back there, and I mean, I honestly think we should have done that in some other games sometimes, just because you have 2 good corners without him playing there. But I don't know. What do you think of the way Delane's played this season? Like in general, it's kind of weird because we played a lot of running teams. We haven't seen so many like quarterbacks attacking him or attacking the corners in general. But
yeah, I feel like it's tough to evaluate because, like you said, it's like I feel like the spotlight hasn't really been on him at all because the run defense has been so bad. Lots of teams have had no reason to throw at him. So yeah, it's tough to sort of evaluate from that level.
It just last year he jumped off the screen in so many games making plays, and I I haven't noticed him as much this year.
BC lining up like they're going to go for a 4th and inches here at their own 34.5-yard line. I don't blame them for this. I think Virginia Tech just don't jump off sides, make them earn it.
Come on. They got the first down.
Yeah. That's always possible to stop.
Yeah, I mean, with Castellanos back there, like that's a tall ask. So it is 5 minutes left in the second quarter here, 5:50. 1st and 10 for BC in their own half of the field. They're on their 36-yard line. And we got off a little easy with Robichaud being out, but I said to Robbie, I was like, I don't care which running back it is. You know they're going to have some holes, and it's BC against Tech. Like, they're going to run the ball well.
And honestly, if you're Virginia Tech, I know that's a 4-yard gain for BC on 4th down. Up 17. Even if this is a touchdown drive for BC, if this is a 7-8 minute drive, I think you're okay with that. For Virginia Tech, it's all about avoiding the bad plays.
Hit him in the backfield. He did get positive yardage on that, but he almost took it.
3rd and short again, man. Looking up PFF for the cornerbacks. In terms of this, it's a little weird because there's just not a lot against them, but they have Dorian Strong, and is this year? There's no way this is this year. It has Dorian Strong as a 66.7. That's just not true. Good play there in the backfield, boys.
Really nice play. It's Cole.
Cole Nelson is a guy who needs to be more consistent, which is odd because that's what Brent Price said he was going into this year. But he's got to be more consistent because his good is really good, but his is awful. So he's got to be better. And it looks like Jenkins made a really good play there. I remember interviewing Keonta Jenkins when I was writing with the Key Play when he signed to Virginia Tech. And first off, he's a great guy. Like, you can totally see how he has become a really solid leader on this defense. His high school film is just form tackle after form tackle. It is beautiful. And
nice.
It is he's
what position was he playing back then?
He was playing safety. He was a little bit smaller. He was just safety wide receiver guy, but it was like he would just come up and just lay the wood on people.
Well, he started at Tech as a safety, right?
Yep. And then you just put on a bunch of weight. Yeah, really, really good player. Like, I could see him having a Divine Diablo career and NFL career too.
Yeah, he could play in the NFL.
Very, very similar players.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he'll get probably get an undrafted free agent deal. I wouldn't expect him to be drafted, but because he's kind of
right now, right?
He's a tweener. I think he's a junior,
redshirt sophomore, maybe.
He's been around for a bit. Keonta.
Back to PFF. Derek Canteen has a 90.7 rush defense grade, which is top elite.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is high.
Targeting here. I don't see a targeting there, to be honest with you.
It's so much more enjoyable having this game on you, even though I can't tell what the calls are. I don't know who the people are. It's like the D team calling it. It was
definitely
VTech, VOTech.
Oh, the first thing we heard when I turned it on was VOTech. My wife's like, "Oh, not a VOTech guy."
It's funny because the ones who've done the games a bunch of times, they'll get told at some point to stop saying VOTech. And this guy, whoever it is, I don't remember, has obviously never done it before because it's brutal. It's tough.
Yeah, Keonta's a senior.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I wrote
straight up senior.
Good for. I think he'll come back next year, I believe.
Do you think he gets that COVID year? Is he? I guess he should.
Yeah, this is the last year of COVID years, I believe.
Okay.
That means that some of these 27-year-olds who are still playing are going to eventually have to graduate, I guess.
Dude, that looks like a targeting to me.
The more I look at it, the more it looks like a targeting.
And this is a hit on Jalen Lane.
Yeah.
right to the side of his helmet there.
That's unfortunate for the BC player.
First down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I
No
don't-
targeting though.
Those are always tough because it's like
The player's ducking.
the player's
Right.
ducking, right? And you know,
I hate the targeting rules so much. I know you need something, but like we need a more hard and fast. It's like it's up to every official whatever they want to call. You know,
Right.
like that's what I hate about it.
if
I
BC
don't think
doesn't
anybody
fall
likes it.
back in this half, that would be a big win for Virginia Tech.
Absolutely.
That's not a good start, though.
I mean, BC scored, and I know it's hard to do the comparisons across games, but they scored 17 points total against Syracuse, and we're up by 17 right now. And so, if we do not fall apart,
as well, I believe.
sorry, what'd you say, Sam?
They scored 17 against UConn too, I believe.
Oh, really?
No, 21.
21. Well, UConn's 1-8. So
Excuse me.
Hey,
A surprising 1-8 team, by the way. They shouldn't be 1-8. They won 7 games last year.
After Wyoming, that's Sam's favorite school to cheer for. So be careful.
No, I don't cheer for UConn. I just think UConn football is important.
Okay.
I do cheer for I cheer for the whole Mountain West.
what'd you think of last night's result with Wyoming? That was
told
weird.
Brett-
UNLV, man.
I told Brett and Robert, don't touch it. Wyoming is a home field team. UNLV plays really well this year. They're really explosive on offense. Free play. Free play, and he's got him. Wow, what a catch, Daquan Felton.
Go!
What in the world is happening? Dude,
that was a little. So that was one of Drones' like, he almost overthrew it, but it was right there. Felton outstretched those hands, pulled it in, declined.
Wow.
First
What a
down, Hokies.
Wow, what a catch. He has been really, really good.
Yeah, he's been great.
How he was at Norfolk State.
I mean, I feel like he's improved so much in season. Like
he's so good at that fingertip catch. And
mhm.
he's also been blocking decently well. Credit to him, man.
I don't know if you guys remember this, but when we were me and Sam, when we were talking before the spring game, there wasn't a whole lot about Felton then. We were talking about a little bit of size, but the hype really started on him, I feel like, in fall camp, and it got more going. I was not expecting him to have it. Now, he had that nice catch or two in the spring game, but he's stepped up with the absence of Ollie Jennings.
Yeah, and I think he plays that same position as Ollie Jennings, right? That far outside wide receiver. And so with Jennings, if he's going to be your number one there, you don't like that play goes to Jennings. It doesn't go to Felton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the offense would be better with Jennings. However, this team just
touchdown Hokies.
Wow, another good push by the offensive line. What a play!
The route is on.
This is crazy, man.
I love it.
I love it.
I don't think the offense throws enough to support all three of those wide receivers. So
probably not. No. And I'm really glad we did this stream in the second quarter because it's been eventful.
Yeah, I feel like the rest of the game, now that we're up by 24, is going to be kind of boring. But,
no, I'm enjoying every minute of it.
No, I just mean in terms of like scoring. Like we're probably not going to get to 60 points, but I love that if we do, of course.
So when we were down at the Syracuse game, first half was a little tense at first, and then Tech started scoring, and then we all know it was 30-3 at the half or whatever it was, and the second half at Lane, everybody stayed, at least the people we were with and Billy and them. And it was just like a party. Like it was so fun to be up so much and like no Syracuse couldn't do anything. It was awesome. So it might not be quite like that in Boston, but for the Hokies fans that are there, they just showed Big K or whatever it is. Hopefully they'll enjoy themselves this afternoon.
Have
Yeah,
either of y'all been to a game at Boston College before?
I
I've been
went.
to a couple, yeah.
Yeah,
It
I went
is.
in 20. It was Fuentes last year because I wore my Fire Fuente shirt there. That's the one that
That
I was
was the
at.
worst game I've ever seen.
I I talked with AJ Black on Behind Enemy Lines, who shout out to him. He was awesome. He's a big BC sports fan. Um, Talked with him about like what it's like for away fans. It's very different, but it's kind of nice. Like you don't have a lot of the hassles that you do at other college football games. Like there's no
I totally
massive
agree.
crowd. You don't
Right.
have to worry about crowded parking lots. You're not worried about where to tailgate because there really aren't any tailgates. You
Yeah.
just kind of like do whatever you want. You walk through a beautiful campus. You go to the game. It's different, but it's pretty nice.
The one thing I thought was interesting about the stadium, the one time I've been there, is like you can get so close to the players.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were a few rows back, but we were like walked down to get a drink, and like the entrance to the tunnel is like literally on the field almost. Like it's so close.
There's no bad seats there. Like the whole
Yeah.
stadium's not very big. So upper deck, honestly, I've sat upper deck a couple times. It's great. Like you get such a good view. You're still close to the action, and
Their canteen.
there's nobody around you in the stands. Like you're just like free to go wherever you want.
Right.
It's weird, but it's nice. And also when I was there in 2019, they had beer and the beer selection was quite good.
They were one of the first to do beer, and my dad and I was that was a good throw right there. I was there touring Boston University for grad school, and when we went up to the game, and we got tickets on the 50-yard line, first row for $40 each.
Yeah.
Really?
It was like when we looked at tickets.
Were you doing like StubHub or something?
Yeah, we're just shocked.
Yeah, I mean they haven't shown a lot of the stadium on the broadcast, but it's pretty sparse right now. It's pretty empty.
And it's funny because they're 6-3. They're having it's not a great season, but it's a decent season. They're playing Tech, like which should in theory be a draw, although we're not as good as we used to be. And yeah, they just don't noon game. There's probably a ton of Hokie fans up there. I know when I went in 2019, it was the first game of the season, so there was tons of us, and we went. Everyone is trying to get into the one bar that's like across the street from the stadium. It was fun though. I saw a handful of people I knew. But you're right. The tailgating scene just is not the same, but they do have that strip. I think Beacon Street maybe with like a bunch of places.
Well, what AJ said is one of the reasoning that the tailgating is so bad is one, the weather kind of sucks most of the time. Looks pretty nice there today though. Two, their parking fees are incredibly high. And
like if you want to get a parking pass,
yes,
it's so expensive.
His last year was 2017 was his last year of having a parking pass, and it was $1,600
Oh my god!
for the place where you can tailgate, just for the parking pass. And he said it would just economically it doesn't make sense.
Ridiculous.
The only people who can afford it are kind of these older alums. And he was like, credit to them, they do tailgate, but it's just 90% of your fans, it's just not feasible.
This comment from Wayne Kent, stay focused. I don't know if that's for the team or for us, but we've been talking about
right, Wayne. We got to stay focused here. Somebody's going to have to cover the over in this game, and it's not going to be Boston College.
Can we get to 40? Because we have not.
Yeah.
We haven't done that this year, right? Like
who's back there catching punts? Tucker Holloway back there.
Tucker Holloway's out there. I like the white zip up from Pry here. That's a nice look.
One last thing about the stadium is I always wonder about teams like Tech. You play at home in this raucous environment, and then you go on the road to most schools where it's like completely quiet. Like what that experience is like. It's like, does it feel like you're at practice? Like I don't even. It seems so strange.
And one more comment here from Wayne. Team, you are doing great.
I think there's something to when you're used to playing in big environments, and then all of a sudden you're not playing in a big environment, whether it's home or away. I think it is difficult.
Nice catch.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest here. I'd be totally cool if they just took a knee.
Yeah, I don't want to throw a pick
Get to
six
that
or
in a
something.
second.
And that's what I think Wayne put another comment in there. Do we get greedy? And no, we do not get greedy. Like I think you have
I think
played
you give it one
amazing.
more play to get downfield.
Oh. Okay, now okay. We might be able to get a field goal here. Lane just took it to the 50.
Mm-hmm. Clock has stopped. Virginia Tech has all 3 timeouts. So, I mean, at this point, clock is really not an issue.
Yeah.
To
Not
be honest
really.
with you. It's just kind of you need 20 more yards or so. Interesting wide receivers out there right now for Virginia Tech. It looks like you have Aiden Green down here at the bottom.
Yeah, 26 is on the bottom.
And he was
Oh,
open
don't do. Okay, that's grounding.
It is grounding. That is grounding. Virginia Tech's going to have to take a timeout to avoid a 10-second runoff.
And one of the BC players is down. He looks hurt.
Yeah. Kyron Jones is pointing to like where the ball landed, and there was never anyone there.
Well, when they snapped the ball, there was someone there.
He remembers someone being there in warmups.
Right. This is that Izaraku? Who is that? I don't think it's him.
I don't know, but it looks like he might be holding his collarbone or shoulder.
That is a big boy. It's got to be the defensive tackle. Grounding.
Yeah, it's a grounding. Loss of down. Gonna have to take a timeout.
So it's going to be 11 seconds. Or can you take the timeout?
You can take the timeout here.
Okay.
To avoid the 10-second runoff. That's just Drones kind of being a freshman. You got to have that internal clock. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, first 2 reads aren't there. Scramble, get rid of the ball. He kind of sat on it for a bit too long. That is one thing he does when he's good at going through his progressions. Sometimes he just doesn't pull the trigger on like that second or third one. You can see him going through it, but he doesn't really pull the trigger. He'll have to get a little bit better at that internal clock and pulling the trigger. He could have 2 or 3 more interceptions on the year that we've gotten a little bit lucky that
there's been some, he's gotten lucky on his interception count. Absolutely. He's gotten a little bit lucky, but
yeah.
He's still, in general, he's not putting a ton of balls in harm's way.
No, he's been very, for a young quarterback, he's been very, very good.
That's one of his best attributes, honestly. Like as a younger guy, like to not be sailing a ton of balls into dangerous territory. Oh, that's a nice zip up that guy's got. I like that one. That's almost nicer than the home field one.
That is nice.
Did any of you guys get that home field bomber?
I didn't.
It was a little pricey.
Yeah.
Do you got it, Adam?
No, I didn't.
I think Pat has one.
Yeah, I thought about it, but
I definitely considered it. It's nice.
Yeah, I've got a black bomber, but I don't know how often I would wear the one.
Kansas one looks gorgeous.
Oh, really?
It's just like it works so well with Kansas's colors and fonts. It's beautiful.
That sailed out of bounds there. Wayne asked us, what are the most carries in a game for a Virginia Tech quarterback? I think it has to be Logan, right? Or actually, no. If you go back
to Gerard, maybe
Quincy versus Notre Dame, I think has to be up there. That was.
What about the dude that played quarterback back in like 78? Not Bruce Arians, but Bruce might be up there too. I mean, but
we're talking about he played for the Miami Dolphins.
What the heck was his name? He ran for a ton of freaking yards. Don Strock.
Don Strock. Yep.
Yep.
Oh goodness.
That was
Kyron Jones just dropped the ball. Yeah, we just let this game go to half. Let this game go to half.
Come on, we need to get in the locker room.
Yep. BC's going to call a timeout though. I think after that grounding penalty, you take one deep shot. If it doesn't work, then you take a knee. I think that was. I think if Brent Pry had this drive to go over again, he would have done it. He would have called the last 2 plays differently.
Yeah, it's like I like the aggressiveness, but we get the ball to start the second half, so let's just pack it in for now, for halftime.
Yeah, Don Strock did play for the Dolphins. Good call there.
He's my granddaddy's favorite quarterback.
Is that right?
I don't know why.
Was he your granddad a tech guy?
Yes, my granddaddy started. He got season tickets starting in, I believe, 65.
Okay.
Went to as many games as he physically could. Went to a bunch of the road games, almost all the bowl games. Big time Hokie. So
Okay,
that's
so
that's kind of
Strock,
why my family's are Hokies is because of him.
Strock is not the Russian quarterback we were talking about. He was a passer. He had some runs, but that's not it. Like, gosh, I don't know why I can't pull this right now. It's embarrassing. But I used to be. I don't know about you guys, but when I was younger, I was on the Virginia Tech like record book all the time. It's like looking at crap.
So record book.
You pulling it up, Sam?
Yeah, I'm looking through it. It's going to be pretty deep in
If
here.
you go back through the rushers, through the years, you know how there's that page where like you can see the top rusher from every year. It should come up. But Logan, I know against UVA, Logan had a 29 carry game.
So career rushing leaders. The top quarterback in terms of yards. Let's see if you go this way. Wow, don't really see a quarterback on there for a while.
All right, it is halftime, but we'll stay on and we'll do a little chat here while we're looking up these quarterback stats because you got me thinking. But what is? Let me look at what Drones has at the half here.
If you're curious, the most rushing attempts in a game by a Tech player was Cyrus Lawrence versus Memphis in 1981. Rushed the ball 42 times.
Dude, Cyrus Lawrence has ridiculous numbers.
Easy numbers.
All right, so Drones finished the half 182 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, a 229. Actually, let's round it up. 230 passer rating. That's amazing.
Pretty good.
And then 104 rushing yards for Kyron Drones. Like that's a sensational half. That's a whole game right there.
Yeah.
He's due for bigger numbers than he has put up this season, I think.
Well, when he has a real O-line next year and maybe the year after, like he could do some serious damage, man. Like because he's still just getting his feet wet, learning how to play quarterback.
I think I might have found the answer.
Okay.
Who asked that question?
It was Wayne.
Wayne, the answer is, drumroll please, Logan Thomas, November 24th, 2012, against Virginia, 29 rush attempts.
That's what I said.
Facts too. So I don't know how many he took, but yeah, there's your answer.
That game, I don't know if you guys remember that, but like that was one of those 5 or 6 UVA sweat games when we really had no business winning, but just found a way to win. Adam, was that the Mike London clock game?
I think so.
I think it might have been.
Yeah, was that. No, was that to make a bowl game as well? Like
2012.
I'm looking at it right now.
Because they were either 7-5 or.
Yep. So that was to make a bowl game.
That was to make a bowl game. Yeah.
Yep.
2013, we won 8. We got 8 wins, and then the next 2 years it came down to that UVA game too. I think.
Think of this. That wasn't a good game for Logan Thomas. So don't think that he did a great job.
Oh no, he ran for like 2 yards a carry or something.
He ran for a total of 89 yards. I don't see any defensive statistics in the box score on ESPN. Maybe go team stats. Maybe they'll have sacks. Doesn't look like they have sacks either. But I'm sure he got sacked a few times. What a catch by that guy from Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson game. They're showing highlights, and they're wearing their all purples, which is pretty cool. And he had a one-hander in the end zone there. But yeah, Wayne, he is on pace to outdo that. But if we see drones in the fourth quarter today, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't know the answer to this. Would you rather them play Grant Wells if they're going to say, hey, drones, you're good job, bud, put a t-shirt on? Would you rather see drones or Wells? Because I think there is an argument, like let's say drones goes down and you have, a game and a half left plus potential bowl game. I think you'd rather have Grant Wells as your quarterback than Pop Watson. Do you want to keep Grant Wells a little bit? Want to keep him getting some snaps? I think so.
I think if we're up and we don't need to, if we want to pull our starters, you play Wells. I think you put Wells out there. I would almost like, it's not like a favorable situation for Pop Watson to be in, like to be out there and potentially get hurt. And I mean, yeah, he could learn a little bit, but like you're saying, if you're going to need Wells at any point to try to win a game, you want him. He hasn't played. Like it'd be nice to get him some actual play. I know he played maybe for a minute last game, but
yeah, I think I agree with that too. Like he's also, been a good teammate this whole time. He was supposed to be the starter, obviously got hurt. And at least putting him in there and can sling it around a little bit with Pop Watson, I feel like they would just hand the ball off, pretty much on every play. So I've got no problem with them putting Wells in, especially if by mid third quarter they're still at the same amount or more. Like I don't think there's any harm in putting him in there and sort of just letting him go.
I'm sorry, I have to. I'm looking at the 2012 Tech UVA game, the AP article.
Was it? Oh, okay, Sam.
Okay.
Right off the bat, was the score of the game, was it 17-14?
It was 17-14. Cody Journell hit a 29-yarder at the end of the game. Here's an excerpt from that. Cornerback Antone Exum, deep run Wildcat legend, shout out to Antone, set up the winning drive when he intercepted Michael Rocco at the Cavaliers 36 with 3:21 remaining. Exum brought it back to the 24, and Virginia inexplicably held on to 2 timeouts as the Hokies ran the clock down and positioned the ball. The Cavaliers used both timeouts to try to freeze Journell, but to no avail.
Mike London masterclass.
And now
The
Cody
original
did miss a field goal right before that would have put Tech up. So
that's crazy, man.
The
original Time Lord. I mean, key play. That key play started in 2010 or 2012. I can't remember, but they had the GIF of the clock just winding away, and it was so good.
He was a mess of a coach, dude. He was just an absolute mess of a coach.
My favorite thing about him at UVA though is he would randomly pull like 2 or 3 5-stars every single cycle, and you would just never hear from them again. It would just be like.
Andrew Brown.
Yeah.
Who was the other one?
Snowden.
Well, they also pulled the kid that got drafted. Well, the safety that
Thornhill
hated. Thornhill was a big one. Is that who I'm thinking? I don't think that's
Thornhill was a Bronco Mendenhall guy though.
The 5-star dude that didn't get drafted. He was a DB.
Yep.
And he came in like one of those years that like when London was pulling those people, and it was.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't come up with it.
I can't remember him. He was trash though. He was
Bryce something
757 bump guy. He knew the right. His dad was friends with the right other dads in the 757. Unfortunately, that's how that goes.
We got Wayne popping in mad Strock stats into the chat here. Strock brought in to replace David Woodley 1981 game when they were down 24-0. It went to OT and lost. Strock was 29 of 43 for 403 yards, which in 1981 is pretty absurd.
While we're at halftime, real quick, some 757 football news. Phoebus High School, who's here in the Hampton area, they beat Jamestown 104-0 in the playoffs last night.
Oh, I saw that come across the timeline.
Yep.
That's bad, dude. That's not right.
I think it has more to do with Jamestown. Apparently they didn't win a game. They somehow got in the playoffs by some like weird rule.
Is
So that
is
was
there like
weird.
is there a mercy rule in high school football, or did they
Apparently
issue, like,
not, because if it's not 100 points, then it
I
doesn't exist.
I hope they at least did like the running clock like they do in baseball sometimes, or not baseball, basketball and stuff, where the clock just runs no matter what.
Man, that's awful though
Yeah,
for those kids. Like
that's not good. And
they
then
had to have running clock, but I guess it didn't matter.
yeah,
Right.
and then Keelan Adams, Virginia Tech wide receiver commit. He plays at Green Run High School, which is right next to where I work, and he's a sensational football player. They were running him Wildcat last night, and it was just juke move, spin move, breakaway speed. He's a really good wide receiver on a pretty good Green Run team. He's a really special player. I'm
Yeah,
really
we got to
excited
keep
about
him. We
He
got to
is
keep him.
he's a damn good football player.
And I think we will, especially like if we can get to a bowl and show the improvement, I think it will give the recruits, especially the higher profile guys, like, okay, there's a reason I committed. They're starting to rebuild. When I get there, I'm going to hit the ground running. And that's why I do think some of these late season games, they're not just important for this year, they're important for the future. They really are. They
Bowl
keep
practices too.
momentum. Yeah. I mean, and people, that is a thing that there's extra practices and they can be important. I don't know how important they are, but for a team like us, we could always use more practice.
So Wayne just commented, said that the high schools aren't AAA, single A, and double A anymore. Is that true? Do they not classify that anymore?
There's got to be 4 and 5A, right?
I'm not sure for Virginia. They
Okay.
change it every year. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I just remember because when I was in high school, my high school was AAA, I think, and we went to the state football championship in 2008, and we lost to some school from Virginia Beach, of course. But we played in Scott Stadium, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I feel like I have no idea anything about high school athletics.
Well,
these days,
my whole thing is even if there's definitely divisions, but
yeah, of course,
the that team Jamestown, they shouldn't be in whatever division they're
Yeah.
in if they're getting beat that badly.
Yeah, that's like.
And I know
that's
Phoebus is good, but like, come on.
That's like a Bishop Sycamore stat line.
Yeah, for real.
Crazy. Yeah,
Did you guys see? No, sorry, I was just gonna say, did you guys see that Bishop Sycamore is back? They're gonna play games again.
How is that possible?
Christian.
How is that possible? How is that like? Is that an actual school?
Especially with the documentary and everything. I don't know if you guys saw that, but like, it's a scam 100%, and they just are paying people to basically say that they're a school so they can play games. It's really strange.
That is so weird, dude. Yeah, I want to see the documentary. Like, it seems fascinating, but I was gonna say this about high school football. State of New Jersey. I live across the street from my wife's high school. She's from this town. It's called Cherokee. And Doug Eastlick, former Virginia Tech fullback who blocked for Michael Vick back in the day, and is a couple years older than me, he went to that high school. He's a South Jersey legend. Last night, Cherokee High School won sectionals, and they're a couple games away from the state championship. So that's pretty cool.
Not that anyone cares, but Hudson High School and outside Cleveland lost in the regional semifinals last night. Virginia Tech does have a commit from Hudson High School, offensive line, defensive line guy. Excited to have him. We'll definitely have him on the show this spring when we start to talk to some of the commits. Excited.
Sam, you must have loved that "Good Luck Ohio" graphic that Crook put out. I think it was somebody on our staff, and it was said just like "Good Luck Ohio," like high school playoffs. It was like such a random, kind of nothing graphic.
I'm telling you, they're recruiting. There's no reason that they can't recruit Ohio. It's not that far from Blacksburg, to be honest with you.
Is it outside the 6 hour circle, or is it in it?
Wayne went to Hudson a couple years ago. Go Explorers! Yeah, roll HUD. In Ohio, for high school football, they don't separate private and public schools, so it's just the size of the school you play each other. So you have some of these private school programs that are like nationally ranked, like St. Ignatius, St. Edwards, Walsh Jesuit, who Hudson lost to last night. And they bring in guys from all over the country, and they're just I mean, they're feeder systems for
Yeah.
Ohio State, Michigan,
That's
Iowa, Minnesota.
that's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. I feel like that's not fair
Notre
because yeah,
Dame.
those schools they like have recruiting. You can recruit and pay
Mhm.
people to come in, and you're
Private
playing.
schools can get away with anything.
Yeah, and you're playing against public schools. That doesn't seem fair.
I wanted to bring up since the Kelsey brothers are always in the limelight, Cleveland Heights. Is that anywhere? Is that a big school? Like,
Yep, it's a suburb of Cleveland. I mean, they're not an elite football school in terms of Northeast Ohio, but they're pretty good. Yeah, that's their claim to fame. It's right next to Shaker Heights, which is where Machine Gun Kelly and Kid Cudi are both from.
Shout out MGK. I saw him in
MGK.
I saw him in DC this past summer for his tour. It was great.
I've been on a bit of a Kid Cudi kick lately, so
I was a huge Cudi fan back in the day. I had a handful of his albums back when you had to like purchase the album on Apple.
Man on the Moon is an all-time classic.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that area is so rich with talent and all of those. I won't say it's the level of like Texas high school football. It's not the craziness, but it is like you grow up in the same town.
I mean, it's serious. It's definitely serious.
They're in weight programs since middle school. They do film sessions. It is treated more like college football, and it is. They don't mess around with like they have 7-on-7 stuff. They have spring ball, but they don't really mess around with that stuff. Like
that's what you need, though. Like if you like, this is why Ohio State is good. It's why the teams that even Toledo is good because they take their high school football so seriously. And I know there are schools in Virginia that take their high school football seriously. Phoebus is one of them, and a handful of the other ones in Richmond and 757. But that level of commitment is rare in high school and state high school football in a lot of states.
Shout out Tommy Ricard is the guy from Hudson that Virginia Tech has committed to the class.
Oh, okay.
He's 6'4", 265. I think he's going to end up. Needs to put a lot of weight on, obviously, but he can play.
He's a lower guy on the 247, but like when you the evaluation is what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what he looks like. He has offers from West Virginia, Minnesota, Michigan State, Kentucky.
That's pretty good.
So
okay.
He's a Division I football player. But I think sometimes when Tech was pulling some guys that weren't FBS guys, he should be an FBS guy.
I'm gonna drop off and get some food before the second half starts, but this has been fun. We'll see how many points we put up in the second half. So
yeah, do we want to take a little break? I think we got about 5 minutes before it goes up.
Yeah, let's do that. So Sam, do you want to hop back on?
Yeah, I'll hop back on for sure.
All right, let's start a stream. Like I'll text you, but like sometime midway through the third quarter, and I'll say like second half stream on it'll be a different link.
Sounds good, man.
All right, later.